What's up everyone, thank you for stopping by and checking out another video. Today we are going to be talking about the very anticipated review over my home iSteady gear. This is going to be the Gear Z kit, so it's going to come with the handles. First things first guys, when it comes to price range, this is pretty fair priced. It's a little bit higher than I guess some of the other name brand gimbals out there, but you're also getting the handles, and that's what you got to really consider whenever you're comparing the prices. Now if you buy just the gimbal itself, then it is actually underpriced when it comes to comparing it to other gimbals. So you just got to kind of weigh what you need, what you don't need, that kind of thing like that. But I went ahead and I got the kit which has the handles, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm really enjoying it. It's smooth, it does what I need it to do. There's a couple features that I wish it would have, but the features that it does have, it actually performs fairly well. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So I have it powered off right now, and you can see right here it's already balanced. I've already pre-balanced it. And let's go ahead and take a look up close right here. Okay, so first things first, you have your joystick. Joystick is going to be located dead center of that. This is also going to be to change the modes. So what you'll do is you'll press once for mode 1, twice for mode 2, and then 3 times for mode 3 and 4 times for mode 4. The light will change in order of the mode that you're in. But your fourth mode will be actually one steady light. So keep that in mind. You have your zoom in, zoom out toggle right here. If your camera is compatible with that feature, then you're able to use it. My camera unfortunately is not compatible, so I'm not able to use that feature. On the side right here, we have your micro USB port. This is going to be how you charge the gimbal. It also comes with 2 batteries on the inside and a battery charger, so if you want to break down the gimbal, you just break it down like so. And you have your batteries in here, and you're able to just pop the batteries out and put them on the charger. So this gimbal is also going to come with a tripod stand, so whenever you want to set the gimbal down, you can just set it down on a surface and it'll be able to stand up straight for you. So like I said, I've already calibrated mine. Everything is already balanced. You can see it's kind of staying still without it even being powered on. You can see the light's not on. That's how you know it's not powered on. But I'm going to go ahead and run through how to balance it real quick. So first things first, if you have a screen that comes out to the side, make sure that's open prior to balancing. If it isn't, then it's going to kind of throw everything off and you're going to have to redo it after you've already balanced it. So you want to balance this. You don't want the camera to go either forward or backwards. So that's going to be what the plate right here is for. It also comes with a little screw right here. You can push this little bracket right here up and down. If you have a heavy lens, I highly recommend pushing it up. It'll help kind of support that lens and that weight. So your axis right here, you're going to tip the camera up like this to where it's up. And you're going to make sure it's level, and then you'll tighten down whenever your camera doesn't go either frontwards or backwards. So once that's level, then you'll go to this axis right here. So this axis, if your camera rolls, if it does this, or if it does this, then that means you need to even out this axis right here. After that one, then you'll go down to this one on the bottom. So this one on the bottom, the camera goes either forward or backwards like that, then you need to adjust it appropriately until your camera is actually able to turn with the gimbal. Like, when I say that, I mean you can basically do this without your camera moving. And so that's how you know it's all level. Now, you might need, like I said, need to make some little micro adjustments depending on if you add attachments or anything like that. But for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory and fairly easy to balance. Your first time balancing, it might take you, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes. But after that, you'll be able to pretty much do it in about 2 to 3 minutes tops. So let's go ahead and power it on. You can see it kind of rotates. It basically centers your gravity line right there. And that way you have a nice level shot whenever you begin shooting. You might have to redo that every now and then. It might get a little bit tweaked off, but the only way that it's really going to get like that is if it's not balanced properly. Otherwise, you should be able to take it and do all kinds of different movements with it, and you shouldn't have really any problems with it if you balanced it correctly. So keep that in mind. The closer you are on balancing, the better it's going to perform, and that's with any gimbal, not just the Hohem iSteady. So let's go ahead and talk about the modes again. Like I said, it's blinking one light or one time. That means it's in mode 1. So let's go ahead and hit it twice. And now you can see it's blinking twice, and that means it's in mode 2. So we're going to go ahead and cycle through these. So now it's blinking 3 times, and that means it's in mode 3. And 4 taps is going to give you a long light. That's how you know you're in mode 4. So, like I said, moving on. My favorite mode is going to be mode 3, and I'll show you why really quick. So mode 3 enables you to do this right here, a nice tilt, and it also enables you to turn the gimbal like this, and the camera kind of stays exactly where it's at. So let me go ahead and show you again. So we're going to turn the gimbal. You can see I'm turning the handle, and the camera's staying in one spot. We're going to go down or raise up, and the camera stays in one spot. We're going to go to the side. We're going to go to the side again, and the camera kind of stays in one spot. Now, whenever I use that mode, I typically use it whenever I'm getting low shots and my subject isn't necessarily moving around side to side or anything like that. If the subject does move, then of course you'll have to use the joystick to track your subject, and you can just push left to go right and push right to go left. A little bit confusing. That's the only really downside about this joystick, but after a little bit of use, it comes basically second nature. It's fairly easy to use. So right now I'm actually paired the gimbal with a Canon T6i. It's also going to be having a 50mm lens 1.8 on the front of it. It's a fairly light setup, but if you have any questions, I guess, about the weight that it can handle, I have a Canon SL2, which is going to be even lighter than this, but I have it paired with an 18 to 35mm lens. This is a 1.8 art. It's a Sigma lens, and so it's actually fairly heavy, and together with all of that stacked up on here, I'm still able to balance it properly, and I'm still able to get some very smooth shots without the gimbal really causing any problems. Now, let's talk about battery life, because battery life is a big deal. So I put the batteries to the test a couple weeks back, and I was able to get 8 hours solid shooting time. If I go on and off, on and off, on and off, then I was probably pushing closer to about 10 hours. Now, I left it on for the majority of the time, which is I think why I got 8 hours, and I was pretty much steady using it, which is also again why I think I only got 8 hours. But if you're like me, then 8 hours is going to be plenty of time. I have the gimbal in mode 2 right now, and I'll show you what 2 does real quick. So if I go up with the gimbal, then the camera follows my movement. If I go down, then again, the camera follows the movement. If I turn the handle left, the camera follows, and if I turn the handle right, the camera follows. So there's, like I said, guys, there's really, for the money, for the price, I don't think you can actually beat this. So before I wrap up this video, I actually want to plug in a clip that I was able to shoot. Like I said, whenever I was talking about I was shooting a couple weeks back for consecutive hours, this is where I was at and this is what I was shooting. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in right here for you guys to see exactly the movements that you can get with this gimbal. Alright, so if you guys remember me talking, I told you I got the kit with the handles, and this is what it looks like whenever you have it all set up. This is going to be your camera on top of the gimbal, you have your gimbal itself, and then you have your dual handles right here. Now, the dual handles are pretty cool, so if you have a little bit of extra money, I highly recommend checking this out. Not only do you get the suspension arm right here, But you also have a 1/4 inch thread hole on top of each handle, and that's so you can actually, you're able to mount monitors, mics, your cell phone if you want to mount your cell phone. There's anything that can go on top of a camera, you can basically put it on top of these handles. So highly recommend you trying that out. And you can see even with me doing all these crazy movements that the gimbal still handles extremely well. For the price, I really think everyone should actually consider this gimbal. Hohem is a brand out of China, but don't let that fool you. They are making some great products. They actually have a mobile version of this. They have a GoPro version of this, and now they have this one right here. So they advertise this to fit with mirrorless and DSLR cameras, but be very cautious. If you have a very heavy DSLR camera, it might not work for you. And heavy DSLR, I'm going to be talking about the Nikon Pro Series or the Canon Pro Series. And I'm not too familiar with Nikon, but on Canon, that's going to probably be about the 5D and higher, or even the 7D and higher. You might not get the performance that you will with maybe a 80D and below. So keep that in mind for if you're interested in these gimbals or in this gimbal. Anything lighter, I think you won't have any problems with, to be honest with you. But yeah, guys, that's going to be my review on the Hohem iSteady gimbal. This is going to be the Z kit. This is I believe it retails, I don't know, anywhere between $300 to $450. Whenever I bought it, it was $350. So highly recommend you checking this out. It performs extremely well for being a very budget and not so much of a name brand product. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please leave a like. Please consider subscribing if you're new to the channel, as I post videos just like this one once a week. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. As always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Later. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. This is actually handling even better than what I thought.